What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Yuengling Brewery, and they're out of Pottsville, Pennsylvania. And this is their Hershey's Chocolate Porter. So this is an American porter that is brewed with Hershey's chocolate. Comes in at 4.7% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in the time of review. This growler is exactly 4 days old. So Yuengling and Hershey's chocolate, they kind of decided to get together, do a collaboration. And when I first saw that they were going to do this, I think it was about a month ago, early October, they mentioned that it was going to be draft only, and I was like, oh man, I was kind of bummed out. I'm like, probably not going to show up in my area. We do get, quite a few Yuengling products here, but I didn't think I'd see it in my area. And then all of a sudden, a local beverage chain called Consumers Beverages, they have like 18 locations in the area, they put it on tap at all 18 locations on the same day. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go get a growler fill of it, and I'm going to review it. So at the time of review, like I said, this is 4 days old. I got it, threw it right in the fridge, and I am going to review it today. So I think the base of this beer is a recipe based off of their porter, their dark porter. I don't know if it's the exact beer. I don't know if they're just taking their dark porter and then brewing it with Hershey's chocolate, or if they made a recipe to kind of suit the Hershey's chocolate a little bit more. But regardless, this is an American porter. It's brewed with Hershey's chocolate. They don't mention exactly what chocolate from Hershey's, but I imagine it'd be their classic milk chocolate. And that's all I know about it, 4.7%. Not a ton of information on this outside of that they're doing collaboration because, they're quite close to one another and they thought they would. And here we are. So yeah, again, flip top growler here. Whoa! That was big. All over my face. No, not really. So we'll give this a proper pour, hopefully, here. And yeah, it's been out of the fridge for about 20-25 minutes. So try to give it a proper pour here. Oh, that's looking beautiful. All right, just like that. That's all we'll do. Something like that. Not going crazy here. Probably close my eyes when it popped because it was a big pop. I'm going to close it up here so I can enjoy the rest at a later date. All right, so we'll throw this over here like this. I don't know. Whatever. It's just a growler. You guys have seen them before. Anyway, as you can see, that looks awesome. Poured out more of like a dark, like milky brown to it. On camera, it's probably going to be pitch black, but more of a dark milky brown. Has about a finger and a half of this really luscious, creamy looking mocha-colored head. It looks, kind of looks like hot chocolate on top, like the head you get in a hot chocolate, but it looks super creamy and just like awesome. That's a beautiful looking beer, honestly. I like it. Like I said, it's about 20-25 minutes out of the fridge, so this is probably in like the 50-55 range. Probably more to the 50 range. I just wanted to make sure it was cool, with growlers and everything, make sure the carbonation was proper and stuff. So I would probably want to drink this more like 55 range, but whatever. We should be fine. Let's get a nose. Listen, that smells like Hershey's milk chocolate to me. Crazy. Should it be crazy considering they're using Hershey's milk chocolate? Probably not. Yeah, tons of Hershey's sweet milk chocolate. It almost has like the cocoa powder vibe that you get from Hershey's. You can buy the cocoa powder, kind of like that, but a sweetened version of it, more so than like the actual bars themselves. There's roasted malt underneath it, a touch of like a coffee roast as well. Man, that is fucking cool. I'm not going to lie. That's a cool ass beer. The fact that I can smell the Hershey's in here, and it's unmistakable. It is definitely for me Hershey's chocolate in the nose. If you told me it was, this was just, here's a, whatever. If this was a whodunit or a mystery beer review, maybe I wouldn't be able to say Hershey's, but now the fact that I know it's in here and I know what Hershey's smells like and tastes like, yes, definitely in here. But more of the cocoa, definitely more of the cocoa. Maybe a little bit of like the Hershey syrup too, more so than the chocolate. All right, I don't want to smell it anymore because it smells fucking fantastic. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. It's very nice. It's very fucking nice. When I first take a sip of it, 100% Hershey's cocoa powder to me. That's what I'm getting, Hershey's cocoa powder, a sweetened cocoa powder from Hershey's. And then as soon as like I start, going through the rest of the palate with the beer, that kind of subsides, but it's omnipresent. As I'm talking right now, the finish is still like a Hershey's chocolate. The base of this beer, though, isn't all that substantial to my palate right now. Let's talk about the body and mouthfeel real quick. Body at 4.7%, lower side of medium body. I kind of expected that. It's a lower ABV porter, so lower side of medium body is fine by me. The mouthfeel, Definitely carbonated, still has great carbonation in the growler here 4 days later. But it does have a nice, soft, smooth, and almost creamy vibe to it. Like they use lactose in there, and if they're using Hershey's chocolate, then there's probably lactose in here, but who knows? I don't know. I'm pretty sure there is, though. Yeah, this is really good. I cannot sit here and disagree that, or disagree. I can't sit here and say that it's not, because it's kind of what they said it is. It's their porter that is brewed with Hershey's chocolate, and you kind of get that taste. So right up front, that cocoa powder sweetness from Hershey's kind of hits my mouth, passes through the palate, touch of roasted malt, a little bit of like a caramel toffee thing too. Not really any coffee I was getting then, nose not really. As it finishes to the sweeter side of things, so this is a sweeter porter. Really, for me, no bitterness to speak of, and just a slight dryness. Really easy to drink, although I think that this, I'm actually going to save, the other half of this for my dad, Average Pops, because he wanted to try it as well. So he'll drink that later today. But for me, I think maybe an entire 32-ounce growler of this would be too much, but a 16-ounce can or like a 12-ounce bottle would be perfect. Just to be honest with you, like I am with all my reviews, I don't think the base beer, I haven't had Yuengling's porter in a long time, but I remember it just being solid for me. Like it's a good porter, is fine, solid. Like rating wise, probably give like a 3.5, 3.75 in that range. I think I would, for this beer specifically, I think personally, I would like to see this more as like a 5.5, 6% porter. A little bit more body to it, more character from the base beer, because I think the Hershey's is kind of dominating the palate, which is fine by me. Love Hershey's chocolate. They're doing a collab, so you want to taste what they're, the company they're collabing with, in this case, Hershey's chocolate. I get that part of it. But I think I'd want the base to be more substantial, because it's getting kind of lost. Outside a little bit of roasted malt caramel toffee thing going on, not a whole lot to the base. It's just it's kind of like a vessel that carry the Hershey's chocolate to your mouth. But this is really good. I like this. Yeah, I'm going to give Hershey's Chocolate Porter from Yuengling a high 4 out of 5. I'm going to go 4.1 out of 5. To get to the 4.25 range for me, the body and the base beer would need to be pumped up. But I think taste alone on this beer is probably a 4.25 out of 5. But because of the lack of body for me, and the fact that the base isn't all that robust, I have to knock it down a bit. But I'm not going to sit here and BS you. For my palate, and again, I'm sure a lot of you will try this beer, because again, we'll talk about the availability and the price in a second. But for a lot of you out there, you might not care for this one. Maybe you love it more than me, but I will be interested to see what people think about the base beer in here and the body and whatnot, because I feel it's I said the body, beginning, I said the body was fine, and it is fine for 4.7% beer. I guess the issue that I'm having to wrap that up, the entire issue with the beer, that's not a huge issue, is that I would just like to see this 5.5, 6%, and I would like to see more flavors from the beer. So I'd want a body that's kind of medium body, which 5.5, 6% beer would probably produce, and I would like to see more substantial flavors from the base. Now I'm going to stop talking about that, since I've mentioned it like 37 times. Price and availability. Price point on this one, great price, I thought. $6.49 for a 32-ounce growler fill. So if you want to take it into 16-ounce cans, you're talking $3.25 for a can. For something that's awesome collaboration like that, I would pay it every day of the week. It might be more expensive in your neck of woods. It might be less expensive. But for $6.49 for what's in this growler, 2 thumbs up. Availability. This is where I did not know. I actually checked their website to see where this would be available after the fact, because again, when I first saw a couple news stories about it on the good old interwebs, and they just said to be on draft, locally and like in certain markets. But on their website, there's like, I think 10, 15 different states that this will be on draft. So if you're in the Northeast, if you're in the Mid-Atlantic and kind of to the Midwest, you'll probably see this on draft. So keep your eyes peeled for this beer. Give it a go, especially if you like porters and you like Hershey's chocolate, because I think this does a pretty damn good job, albeit, like I said, the base is a little bit lost for me, but whatever. At the end of the day, a 4.1 out of 5 is a fucking fantastic score for this beer, and I am really happy that I got a chance to try it. And I'm even more pumped up that it's a quite tasty beer. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Again, 4.7%. You really don't taste any like alcohol in here, which is nice. Lower ABV, and it's really easy to drink. Like I said, it might be a little bit sweet by the end of this growler, but as is right now, not too sweet to my palate. And I love that Hershey's flavor. So yeah, damn tasty. So thanks again, everybody, stopping by for another beer review. Until the next one, cheers.